Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD, aka He Who Pods, glasses on, so also rear view mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D.
And we're back on Super Bowl Monday, Kendrick Lamar Monday,
Yep.
Kanye West Monday.
No, I need a
No.
blanket Monday. Ooh, it's freezing in here.
Oh, yes. The weather is really weird out here. It's like
Yeah,
only 37, but really windy, so it's much colder and feel. What they call it, real feel.
real feel. Yeah, and the window, I don't know, maybe I need to seal it or something because I'm just feeling a gush of cold air
Oh, that's no
right
bueno. Yeah.
now. I'm gonna catch a cold probably.
Hopefully not.
We'll see.
But then let's not waste time. Let's get right into it.
Hmm.
Kendrick Lamar did the Super Bowl last night, Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah,
Um, and the Eagles won big time.
they sure did. I saw
Shout
that.
out to all the shout out to all the Eagles fans. Um, but anyway, a lot of stuff went on during Kendrick's halftime show. How you want to break this down?
Um, I don't know. Let's just talk. What did you? What
Okay.
was your? What was your? Okay, well, let's start with. What did you think of the show overall?
I thought overall it was good. I thought that it kind of started here and slowly crept up to, the tippy top, as you like to say.
In what way? You mean like energy, or you mean quality, or what do you mean?
In energy and in quality. Um, there's some records I don't like, but I know they're popular, and
Mm-hmm.
so I wasn't mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
But he started with whatever the broccoli record is called. Well, he started with some unreleased
Quabla.
song. I don't know what he started with because he started with something just rapping a cappella style on top of the car.
Yeah.
And actually, he didn't start. Samuel Jackson started.
Right. This is true.
So really, I guess that's the beginning of it, right?
He had a
Samuel
couple.
Jackson comes out as Uncle Sam, and then Kendrick is rapping. We'll get to all the themes and things in a minute, but just strictly performance. I thought overall it was good. I'm gonna get straight to it. I think the wildest part of the night is he did three Drake diss records during his performance. He did Euphoria, he did Not Like Us,
Mm-hmm.
and he did TV Off. Uh,
Is TV off of this?
I believe so. Maybe other people do not, but
I mean,
turn
I
his
don't
TV
know.
off.
I'm just asking.
In my opinion, it is. It is not a direct diss record like some of the other ones, but yeah, I think so. Turn his TV off is also a reference to how I say this on YouTube, turning off the lights, if you will.
Okay.
So, who else would he want to turn the lights off on?
Yeah, I can see that. It could even mean to literally turning his TV off. Like maybe not literally, but like take his phone away, take his mic away, take his, you know what I mean? It could mean that as well. So I see what you're saying. I do. Um,
Yeah.
I just,
So, all type of Drake this is during the performance.
yeah, I can see that. I do want to go back real quick to Samuel L. Jackson, um, and I just want to say that Samuel L. Jackson is kind of like the acting version of Stevie Wonder for me. Now I love them. I think they're wonderful. I think they're great. One thing Samuel L. Jackson is going to do is show up to a gig if someone calls. Um, it's just he's just always there. Just even when you don't expect to see him, he's there. Him and Stevie Wonder against the world. They're gonna be the last people standing. Like when all of it self destructs, they're gonna be the last two people standing. Them two and Robert De Niro, because you know there's gonna be a white man standing. You just know. But the three of them, like, not always there when you call, but always on time.
Yeah.
I thought that. I said to myself, you know what? The acting version of Stevie Wonder, because you know who you always gonna see? Samuel L. Jackson. He gonna play the daddy, the uncle, the boss, the janitor. He gonna play everybody. And that's fine. We love him for it. I'm just making a point.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so back to you. Overall, you thought it was
Overall, I
good?
thought it was good. Just
Okay.
just his performance before we get into any of the other stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
I thought it started here and went up. I like that they kept teasing, not like us,
Yeah.
which it kept everybody. Is he gonna do it? Is he not gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? Is he not gonna do it? Because we know that's been a big thing for the last couple of months.
Right. I think there would have been rioting in the stadium. I don't think we would have made it to the third and fourth quarters of the game if he didn't do it. I think he had to. Because even the energy of the crowd, did you notice that it wasn't, to me, it wasn't that energetic until,
There were like waves. Certain songs you heard the crowd react.
yeah, yeah. So I liked it, just, you know, because I haven't said yet. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it from beginning to end, honestly.
Okay.
Um, I thought it was great. I thought it was very black during Black History Month. I thought that perhaps the NFL didn't know what they signed up for, which is fine. I'm okay with it. Maybe some of them are not, but I was totally fine with it. Um, and like you said, we'll get into some of the symbols and you know things that were kind of out there that he used to move the show along. But I think overall it was a great show. Um, I thought SZA was great. I thought SZA sounded great. I thought she did. I thought now I've never seen SZA perform live, so I'm sure that she, you know, has talents that I have not seen quite yet as far as like her range and, you know, what she can do at a live show. But I thought she sounded great. Um Whether it was because I couldn't tell if it was like live vocals or not. But
Oh, it
either
was live.
way, it was, right? I thought it was great. I thought she sounded
And the
great.
reason I say that is because you could tell at one point she was struggling. And then at another point during All the Stars, I think it's called, she made sure to show y'all some vocal range in there.
Yes. And I enjoyed that very much. And that's why I say I've never seen her live, so I don't know the extent to what she can do when she's live, but I appreciated what she did do on the field last night.
Yeah, same.
Um,
And the hair and the outfit matched your favorite.
her jacket said "Crybaby."
Oh yeah, I didn't peep that.
The back of her jacket said "Crybaby."
I guess I was distracted by other things.
I guess so. Um, Whatever that means. Um, so there was also, what am I trying to think of right now? What did you think about the fact that SZA and DJ Mustard were the only people who came out with Kendrick?
I
Because I
thought
know
that
there
was
was a lot.
perfect.
I know there was a lot of. Let me just preface what I'm asking by saying, I know there was a lot of speculation about who would join him,
Absolutely.
and it was him, SZA, and Mustard. and Samuel L. Jackson and Serena Williams, but they were not performing, if you will. They were not
Serena
musically.
performed.
Well, Serena, all of them performed, but as far as the music goes,
Mhm.
there were no other musical guests
Right,
outside of the three.
right.
That's the point I'm making. Obviously, all of them were performing in some way.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect that those were the only two. Um, I love seeing Mustard and Kendrick together.
I do too.
That was awesome for me. So I didn't expect Mustard to come out, but I wasn't surprised by it either.
Yeah,
Um,
they
you
have
know,
great chemistry.
yeah, clearly in more than one way. And so I thought that was great. I didn't, Samuel Jackson did throw me off when he said, "I see you brought your homeboys with you," or something like that. I said, "Oh, what does that mean? About to get Schoolboy Q? About to get the TDE squad? Like who we about to get? J Rock? Who we getting?"
In my mind, and I don't know this to be true, but in my mind, there's a list of people you're allowed to bring on stage with you, and they wouldn't be on it. Now, I
I
don't
can
know that
understand
that's
that.
true. No one has ever said that. I have never read that. I have never heard anyone say it. However, my guess is there's an approved list, and you may not want the people who are on the approved list. So
Yeah, if he'd have brought out Bruno Mars, I might have left. Might have just turned the whole shit off.
I know how strongly you feel about Bruno.
I love Bruno. I just wish Bruno would do him instead of, intermingling with everyone else.
See,
But anyway,
I think the thing about Bruno is that Bruno does him, and then he does 500 other people as well. And then,
Bruno Mars hasn't dropped an album in 10 years.
I know that,
A
but
solo album in 10
but
years or
but
close to that.
we know what is it really 10 years?
I'm looking it up right now. But Bruno Mars' last album was 24 Karat Gold.
Right, that was not 10 years ago.
Okay, one moment,
I
please,
feel
as
like
I
that
pull
came
it
out
up.
the year I turned 30, so maybe it's almost 10 years. When?
2016, excuse me,
Okay,
9 years ago.
okay, so you're right. Yeah.
And it was the end of 2016, so let's just be nice and say 8 years ago, because it was November. Point is, we ain't got an album in 8 years.
I didn't realize it was that long ago. My
Yeah,
goodness.
he been rocking with everybody else.
You you
And,
think Bruno
and
just doesn't want to make it a solo album at this point?
I
He's
have
just
no idea.
you think he's one of those artists that just get to a point where they're like, I don't care what the label asks for, I'm not doing it. And so now he's on the hook for all of these other things that maybe, you know, the for fun things that maybe he didn't really care to do, but they were like, if you're not gonna give us an album, the least you could do is make a song with Sexy Red.
I don't know, but I'm glad Kendrick didn't bring him out.
That would have been weird.
Very much so.
Um,
But anyway,
I was su- oh,
no, please.
I was just gonna say I was surprised to not see Snoop. I was surprised to not see Dre. Um,
Nah, they had their moment already.
they did, but again, in my mind, there's an approved list, which I don't know how Dr. Dre ends anyway. But in my mind, there's an approved list.
Right.
So, and maybe the way to revolt is not to bring anyone on that is on said approved list. I don't know.
Right.
I was I just think everyone thought that, not necessarily those two people, but I think everyone thought that there would be other people on stage with
Hmm.
him. Um, he showed us his cards, and I find that really interesting because I think he is the type of artist where he's unpredictable in the sense that you don't know what he's going to say or what reference he's going to use, or he kind of
Hmm.
just does his own thing. But
Right.
he told us SZA was coming, and she did, and that was that.
Yep.
We got the bonus with Serena doing the crip walk, which someone found a video when she was on, I think, Jennifer Hudson's show last year sometime, saying she would totally, this was after the song came out, saying she would totally crip walk to it. Um, and she did.
And she
And
did.
yeah, and and then we got Samuel L. Jackson. So I mean, I thought it was cool. I didn't. I wasn't mad that there weren't other artists there. Let me be clear about that. If I didn't say
No,
that.
me either. I don't think he needed anybody else. I have the set list of what he did here.
Okay.
He did GNX Teaser.
Mm-hmm.
He did Squabble Up, Humble, DNA, Euphoria, Man at the Garden, Peekaboo, Luther, All the Stars, Not Like Us, TV Off.
I love Squabble Up still.
It's cool.
I like it. Maybe because in my brain I was waiting for that song to come out for so
That's the
long.
Brocky record everybody was
Yeah.
waiting for. Yeah.
So I like the way that song. I like the way he comes in on that song.
I like it. It's just not one of my favorite Kendrick songs. Like, let me be clear for the audience. I don't dislike the song. It's just not one of my favorite Kendrick songs.
That's fine. I understand. I just I've liked it since the album came out. I was like, oh, okay. So I wasn't disappointed, you know,
Right.
um, because that was the song he teased. I
Mm-hmm.
also have said that Peekaboo has grown on me.
Not me. I was mad when that shit came on. I said,
Um,
really? I know people like it, but I don't.
I like Peekaboo.
I
I
was
don't
happy to
like that
hear
he says
Humble.
boogers. I hate that
I'm
he
sorry?
I hate that he says boogers. I don't like that word, but outside of that, I like the song.
I love that Man at the Garden. He basically only said, what makes you think y'all deserve the greatest of all time? I was like, yes, that was the one line to say.
Yeah, yeah.
So, he did Euphoria. I lost my shit. As soon as I heard, bam, 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 I was like, oh, that's Euphoria.
He did great.
Yeah.
He did great.
I
I
mean, looking at the set list, it actually is more balanced than I thought because Squabble Up, Humble DNA, Euphoria, that's not low at all. I said it started here and went up. Actually, it didn't.
no.
Come to think about it, now that I'm looking at it, it's pretty balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Because from Men at the Garden, you go to Peekaboo, which a lot of people love. I don't, but a lot of people love that record. And then he slows it down for just a moment, gave us Luther and All the Stars, and then Not Like Us and turn his TV off.
I think it's great that half the songs are actually current
Yeah, I agree.
because for a
Actually,
Super
more than
Bowl
half.
performance,
More than half. GNX Teaser, Squabble Up, Euphoria, Man at the Garden, Peekaboo, Luther, Not Like Us, TV off. That's 8 out of 11.
I like that because I feel like when you do something like the Super Bowl, you kind of have to reach back in order to grab everybody. He
Right.
didn't do that, and I think that's my favorite thing about this is that, and we knew this, right? He wasn't going to go up there and do what people want him to do or
Right.
expect him to do. I
Right.
think he's played the politics to a certain point when it comes to the Super Bowl. The interview he did the other day with Timothy Chalamet, just certain things that he's had to do as part of press and things like that. I think he played the game, but he played the game to a point
Right.
and still found a way to stay true to who he is and true to the artist he is. Um,
Right. And
and I,
speaking of playing the game,
mhm.
that's the performance, right? We have Uncle Sam come out, Samuel Jackson. We see X's and O's and basically a PlayStation controller. And we see Kendrick on the X's and different things throughout the performance. The O formed around him.
Mhm.
At the end, it was game over.
Yep.
And in between, Uncle Sam slash Samuel Jackson is telling him, you're playing the game wrong. This is not what we want. This is better and stuff like that. and Serena Williams crip walks. Uh, while Not Like Us is being performed, there was also a cast member who had a Gaza flag. I don't think that was part of the performance. Seemed like a rogue person, but that
It
was
was not a
also
part of the
there.
performance.
Yeah.
It was just a
Uh,
random person who ran on the field.
oh, that's what it was. I thought it was a cast member. That's what I read.
Oh, if it was a cast member, it wasn't planned.
Because the article I read said cast member who showed Gaza flag will not be charged, according to New Orleans police.
Oh, I didn't know anything about it being a cast member, but I knew that it wasn't a part of the show. Like it wasn't supposed to happen. Just
Yeah.
happened randomly.
And then there's the flags with the
And the
children
chain.
and the letter A.
And the chain.
The chain? What was the chain? The letter
The
A?
chain that he was wearing was the letter A.
The letter A, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, and the flags were children looking up at an A.
I saw that before the show started, but it didn't connect. I didn't realize it was children. I just was like, what is this random flag?
I gotta be honest, didn't care for that.
Did we ever see the flags during the performance? Did I miss that?
I think they were around for a little bit, but not for very long. So when I saw the flags, it was they were leading out from the broadcast into a commercial segment
Right.
right before he performed. That's
Yes.
that would be my guess is where most people saw the flags.
Okay.
After that, I believe the flags are out for the very beginning of the performance, but
Okay.
if you didn't have that vantage point, you probably wouldn't at that point notice what it is. But people did capture it,
Mhm.
and it is what we're saying it is. Didn't care for that.
Yeah, it's pushing it a little too far, but I don't know. I don't.
I didn't like that.
It's a really interesting. It is fucked up. It's a really interesting situation where he's allowed to go on stage and perform this song. Oh, also, I would like to say he did a great job of not saying certain words,
Mm-hmm.
saying certain words,
Yeah.
pacing himself during this performance where he was dancing the whole time pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't expect that. So I just want to say awesome job on his part, pacing himself and changing around lyrics and cadences
Yeah.
to make the performance what it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really interesting to me what he's able to say on these records, not able to say on these records. Have those flags there.
I didn't
I mean, you
understand
heard,
who approved the flags. I just really don't understand who approved the flags. I don't think the flags should
yeah,
have been briefed.
the
I didn't
flags are
like that.
interesting. Serena throwing up signs while she's crip walking is interesting. Um, yeah, and then Kendrick fans are all over the internet doing think pieces of what did all of this mean. Uh, you know,
It's like when the Beyonce fans start spiraling because she
I
starts
think
putting
I
out
think
her
the Kendrick
innuendo.
fans are even worse because the Kendrick fans, the thing is like the Beyonce fans will kind of come to a consensus where they're like, okay, this is what we believe it means. The Kendrick fans just never stop. They're like, okay, he had this shirt on, and this shirt was only sold at this time during this day, which ties back to his album. But it's like, oh my God,
It's a
yes,
lot.
clearly clearly there was symbolism. You got Uncle Sam, you got the games, you got the X's, the O's, it said game over at the end.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of symbolism, sure, but my God, there's like all these think pieces that are just like, okay, really what Kendrick was saying was that America this and America that. And people have to get ready. It's like, oh my gosh, all right. How many, like, why every time Kendrick does something, you guys have to go find 8 million meanings. Because if you notice, Kendrick never comes out and says yes or no about any of them. The same thing happened during
No.
the battle. People were coming up with 200 meanings. All Kendrick was doing was putting out the next song, putting out a music video. That's it. He hasn't said anything.
I'm waiting for the book. Somebody's gonna write a book called Kendrick Decoded. And I'm waiting for that. Cause you know. Speaking of books, do you know how much that Book of Hove book is?
No.
$2,000.
The one they turned into a book from the exhibit? That's retarded.
I'm very into like hip hop and pop culture related books. And so I looked it up because it's something I would buy for my home. And I discovered that it was $2,000 at Neiman Marcus. And I said, oh, okay.
It's $120 on some websites.
Well, then what is on Neiman Marcus' website? Wait, hold on, because I opened
No,
it.
Neiman Marcus does have it for 2,000. So does Mason and Savola. But I immediately $150 popped up. $120.
Okay, maybe something.
There's some other prices out there.
But what is Neiman Marcus selling that it's $2,000? Like, is it like a special? It got to be some sort of special edition something.
Beats me, boss. I just sent you a link. This is what immediately popped up. That's $120.
This one says ultimate. Do the other ones say ultimate?
I don't know.
Anyway, I digress. But oh, I got your text. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think the other one says ultimate, and it comes in like it comes in. Oh, but this one comes in a case too. I don't know what the difference between a classic and ultimate is. Anyway, we don't have to talk about it now. But I just was like, oh my gosh. But I am waiting for somebody to do the Kendrick Decoded book because I just feel like it's coming. I don't know who's gonna do it, but somebody's gonna do it, and they're gonna sit there with their little pen, and they're gonna write down all the things they think Kendrick meant his entire life, and it's a lot sometimes because it's kind of like part of listening to music is being able to go back to music that you like and finding it's kind of like watching a movie again too, finding things that you didn't notice were there before.
Right.
I feel like this takes away from that in some way. I guess having the information out there, albeit it might not be true, but having the information out there, yeah, you can reference it later. Like if you do hear something and you're like, well, I wonder what this means. Let me look this up. But none of it is founded. Also, again, sometimes you just want to experience music the way music is to be experienced. Everything doesn't need to be interpreted and an encyclopedia or glossary created for it. I just feel like we've lost touch with enjoying art and enjoying entertainment for entertainment value. I feel like
Yeah.
we are always looking for something else, something deeper. Like we are dissatisfied as a culture with just accepting the thing as the thing.
And this has
Or
always been
interpreting
my
it our
beef
own
with
way.
the Kendrick fans and the LeBron fans, which I reference all the time because their fans do the same thing. Like LeBron James will do some regular shit and they're like, oh my God, do you know what that is? Do you know what that really means? And Kendrick, they do the same thing. It's like, we all saw it. It was great, but they can't leave it at great. It's got to be the best shit ever, the biggest shit ever, this 59 layer cake. It's like, dude, it does not need to be that every time. Sometimes LeBron just has a great game. Sometimes LeBron just goes out there, he has a double double, and it's a good game. That's it. He just had a good game. It doesn't need to be that, that fadeaway jump shot is actually a hybrid between Kobe and Michael Jordan's fadeaway jump shots because LeBron has been studying that since dude. He scored a double double. It was awesome.
Also, in terms of Kendrick Lamar, he's a very visual artist. He's a very physical artist too. He's going to physically express himself on stage in whatever way he's decided to interpret the music through dance and movement. He's also, when he puts out visuals, he's very generous with his visuals. He doesn't slap together something that has nothing to do with the thing.
Yeah.
It's always something that you can look at and visually see what he was saying. So you actually don't need to look very far for deeper meaning because he gives it to you pretty generously.
And that's what I'm
Um,
saying. I'm not saying it's not layered stuff, but it just
yeah,
like, okay, there was this and there was this and it was good. But people are like, no, no,
yeah,
no. It wasn't
I
just
agree
this and
with you.
this. Because what you missed was that 7 seconds in, there were five meanings. It's like, oh my
And
God.
then
All
you
right.
know Martin Luther King stood at the balcony for 7 seconds. Like it's just like, okay, all right, this is too much.
And the number seven is synonymous with the entire religion of, oh my God. All
It's
right.
it,
All
it
right.
becomes intense, but that's how it gets. I'm saying with Beyonce fans, you know everything is surrounded by four, so don't don't let her click her heels 4 times
It's
because
like, dudes, just let people enjoy the thing. Like it doesn't have to be 22 think pieces. It's annoying. It's
yeah,
annoying.
sometimes it's too much. Some
And I
like
gotta be
oh,
honest, it makes me think of when we were teenagers and
mhm.
people were doing that with Jay-Z. I'm so glad the Jay-Z heyday is over. Because could you imagine if Jay-Z was at the top right now? Like if Jay-Z fans had the internet and were doing, it would be bananas.
Yeah. And that's why also, yes, he's innovating and he's breaking records and he's done something that's never been done before as far as the diss track goes and how far it's
Oh,
gone.
we
And
witnessed history.
we did witness history. Part of
And
that
I
history,
think Not Like Us is now hands down the biggest diss record of all time.
absolutely. And I think what helped it, I'm not to say he needed help. Let me just be clear. But what helped it is that we live in the digital age and we can share music. We can, like, the music is reaching people it may have never reached before. Um, we have video, we have audio, we have access to it in a way that Tupac didn't when Tupac did hit him up, right? So
Yeah, but I don't think Tupac could have did hit him up at the Super Bowl.
no. I don't think he could have, but I just, I'm just making the point that this moves the needle. It absolutely does.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Um, I think he's in a class of his own, to be honest, and that's why I'm saying this because no one else in history has done this or had the resources to do this at this level.
Yeah.
This is new. Like moving forward, if this were to happen again in a bigger way to someone else, then we could compare. But I don't think there's much to compare here because I think what happened with this is something that is unprecedented, that is, again, guided by the fact that and moved by the fact that this is the digital age and the 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 hurry is not the right word, the speed in which we got the diss tracks would have never happened before,
No,
you
yeah, you're
know.
right.
Like there's so much that us living in this time gave to us with this beef that happened last year. It's a beautiful thing, but I mean, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I'm like, imagine like if there were cell phones, if there were smartphones, video, audio, whatever, Spotify, all of those things. Imagine if those things existed even when you go back to Ether and things like that, you
Right.
know? Um it's just different now. And I'm happy
Yeah.
for him, and I think that because of it, he was able to go really really far with this.
Yeah.
And I don't
I mean,
think,
it also speaks to his songwriting ability.
oh, he's incredible.
Yeah.
He's incredible. And to capture so many people who have nothing to do with any of this, or don't know
Right.
anything about a rap beef or a rap battle or whatever it is. Like, one thing that I did hear him say the other day in the interview he did is that he thinks this is great. Like, this is what he was like, I was just, this is what hip hop is about. He was like, I love rap battles. So, this is just like a thing you do.
Yeah.
And um, to to materialize in your mind how maybe he didn't even think that it would go where it went, and for him to take the Super Bowl stage. My favorite thing is that he just let his friends sing with him and said, "Fuck them other niggas, because I'm down for my niggas." I
Yep.
love that. I love
And
that.
the whole crowd shouted A minor.
They sure did. I mean, that's everybody's
Knew it
favorite.
was coming.
Yeah.
Knew it was
Well,
coming. Hey, you like Serena Crip walking as a last F you to Drake, or
I
you
thought it
think
was
it's
cute.
petty?
I thought it was cute. I learned today that Too Good is about Serena. I never used to pay that much attention to those things. I would just like the music for what it was.
Yeah,
Um,
Drake has discussed her a few times.
no, I know he's discussed her a few times, but I don't recall Too Good being about her specifically. So today I was like, when I heard somebody say it, I said, oh,
Yeah, is that the one on Certified Lover Boy?
no. No, I think that's before Certified Love.
Oh, it's for all the dogs. And on one of those
No, it would
recent
have been
albums,
earlier.
Drake speaks about Serena.
He speaks about Serena a lot.
There's a couple
Um,
times it's referenced. She's referenced, excuse me.
but Too Good apparently was about the whole song. That was views.
Oh, okay.
Um, that
Well,
was
she was mentioned more recently than that.
right.
I think it's on For All the Dogs or Certified Lover Boy. He says something about her and the billionaire husband.
I think it's For All the Dogs. I remember what you're talking
Yeah,
about
he says
because we
something
talked
like
about it.
your billionaire husband is a fan or something like that.
Yeah. Um, well, I said this on Hardly. Episode hasn't come out yet, but I said this on Hardly. And in fact, I said on Hardly a couple weeks ago that the best revenge is just moving on with your life and like living a happy life, because you know some people can't stomach that, right?
Right.
Um, she did one better. She moved on with her life. She married a man whom she loves and decided to make a child with, and they have their beautiful daughter. And then, after all of that, oh, and won tons of trophies and all of that. Her career speaks for itself. And then, on top of that, icing on the cake, she gets up there with Kendrick and does the Crip Walk.
And it's
So
also a FU to the tennis people because she was fined for it after doing it at the
yes,
end after a game was already over.
yeah,
So it's FU to Drake and FU to the
and F
tennis
you to them.
association or whatever it's called.
Yes, two birds, one stone.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love it. I thought it was great.
Yep.
I said, I mean, who gets that opportunity? To give
Right.
one last fuck you to their ex.
And
So,
it's probably good. It's probably good Lil Wayne was not at the Super Bowl.
I really thought that he was going to be there in some capacity, but I didn't see him. I haven't
Either.
seen anything to indicate that he was there. I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's our time, folks.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We hope you enjoyed this Kendrick episode. And we'll be back tomorrow with more.
Bye.